Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. So we're going to have a look at the weather next week to 10 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us around 29th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They are to around a couple of weeks. Going to have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre and the CFS as well for the next sort of 4 weeks and 40 days with Beijing Climate Centre. So it will be an extended look ahead. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and I'll talk you through the 10 to 14 dayer very shortly. Just say that the European Outlook has been released, so that's looking at the weather in detail for Europe during the next week to 10 days. So that's YouTube exclusive. Check that out on the YouTube channel. We're going to have the 7th Christmas update for you tonight, which I think is going to be a very, very interesting watch. So that'll be coming up for you tonight. Now, before I do anything else, I've got to say thank you so much to our two super chatters in yesterday's live stream. So I ended the live stream, I was really pushing for time, and I ended the live stream quite quickly last night. I forgot to shout out our two super chatters through the stream at the end of the stream. I would normally say thank you for your kind of generosity to these people who are super chatting. So I'm going to do it now. Thank you so much for your kindness and generosity to Richard Pudney, and thank you so much for your kindness and generosity to Kieran Bushnell. Thank you so much to Kieran and for Richard for super chatting during last night's live stream. It was another really big live stream. We have well over 200 concurrent viewers at the peak. So yeah, fantastic live stream. Thank you so much to all of you for making last night's live stream so very, very special. And Kieran, don't worry, we will have a look at the CFS at Metro Seal with the pub run live stream tomorrow night. So we will look at that as well as the pub run in tomorrow night's Friday night's live stream. That'll be a lot of fun. We've hit 1,000. We've hit 8,140 subscribers. So subs are still going up, and got to put on another 10 to get to 1,500. 8,150 subscribers. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm saying really. So 8,140 subscribers right now, and we need to put on another 10 to get to 8,150. So if you aren't yet subbed to the channel, please can you do so. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, let's get on with this then. So we're going to start off looking at CET. Central temperature is currently standing at 9.7, an anomaly of 2.5 degrees above average, provisional to the 16th, exceptionally mild November so far. I think this will tick down in the next week or so. I mean, we're not in for anything particularly cold. It is a bit colder today, so that's going to bring about a tick down. And I think just generally this will gradually, gradually decline a little bit over the next week, 10 days. But I mean, it's going to be a milder than average November, most definitely. The only question is how mild, how much above average is this November going to be? These are the 500 millibar height on flow charts of Penn State University with the next week, 10 days, with the ECMWF on the top and the GFS on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure being moved around by the jet stream. Red extrapolates high pressure, blue to low pressure. You can see that the ECM has got an area of above average heights, high pressure sitting over and just to the north of British Isles. That's bringing in like an easterly wind. So dry, anticyclonic, but possibly quite cold with that, with winds in from the east. So yeah, that could be turning quite cold with easterly winds. It's not a beast from you because high pressure is not centering over central North Scandinavia, but it could certainly be chilly. Now look at this. The GFS is completely the opposite though. So total difference between these two models in the 10 to 10 day time frame, which is quite unusual to have it that. You can get slight differences, but it is very unusual to have it that different. So instead of being high pressure dominated, the GFS is all low pressure, with a deep area of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. And what ridging there is like well away from us in the middle of the North Atlantic, or over here, right across the northern parts of Russia. So How different do those two look? Look at the differences there. Absolutely amazing how different they are. And you don't often see that actually, such a stark difference between the two models. So it tells us that as we get towards the end of November, we have got quite a bit of uncertainty here, which can sometimes be a bit indicative of a pattern change actually, when there is such striking differences between the two models. But obviously the GFS is very unsettled, whereas the ECM is much more settled and potentially colder, of course. Temperature anomalies from the 19th, 27th of November are going to be a little bit above average, near normal, really. So that's cooler than it has been actually with these anomaly charts for a few days now. So yeah, just ever so slightly above average to near normal. Precipitation anomalies from the 19th, 27th of November, again near normal, not particularly dramatic either way. To be honest. Here's today's wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that winds have turned into the north. So it is colder out there today. It's a one-day wonder. Tomorrow we're going to get the westerlies and the southwesterlies back in. But for today, we are bringing down the northerly winds. So yeah, we're bringing down these cool winds from the north today. That's the reason temperatures have dropped. However, to change the colour, we've got the milder westerly winds waiting in the wings of Melby side to push back in tomorrow, and over the weekend it will be quite a lot milder. I haven't shown you the upper air temperatures, have I? So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Boston in Lincolnshire today. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Boston. And as I say, it's pretty cool at the moment with those northerly winds, but the upper air temperatures are going to be lifting up again as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. So becoming a lot milder. Still zonal, actually. So you know, we're still in these cool, warm, cool and warm sectors. From around the middle of next week onwards to the end of November and the start of December, we're just generally trending slightly cooler than average by then. So it definitely looks like there's going to be a drop in the temperature. I think the jet stream will be moving southwards, and that is going to produce a drop in the temperature. The question is how chilly will it get? We have got one or two cold outliers creeping in now. So these ones down here are genuinely cold. These ensemble members just here, these are genuinely cold ensemble members. They're outliers at the moment. The majority is just like cooling things down, turning things cool rather than cold, I think. And we do still have some much milder outliers up here, of course. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be a bit of a general cool down. We are losing that zonal sine wave, but we have the next week. That's going to go by the middle of next week, and we're going to go close to or slightly below. Precipitation-wise, there's going to be a lot of dry weather coming up over the next few days, really. There will be some rain coming through at times, but overall, not overly unsettled. But as we go towards the last days of November into December, it does look as though it's a little bit more unsettled. Then again, probably indicative of a jet stream coming southwards and bringing relatively deep areas of low pressure with them. I think West Central sorted out the precipitation spikes, by the way. You remember that the precipitation spikes used to look overdone, didn't they, on these new charts? Well, not new now, because these charts have been around for several months. But at one time, these precipitation spikes were very, very extreme. Now they've managed to find a way of toning those down. So looks a lot better. Well done to Weather Central for sorting that out. Right, this is how the UK Met is looking for Sunday. We've got high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north. We're back into westerly winds, and so it's going to be milder with most of the rain and wind up in the north. Early next week, again, quite a bit of dry weather down in the south, always more unsettled in the north and in the west. And then we're going to push through quite an active area of low pressure through the middle of next week. That's going to bring a cold front with it, heavy rain through the middle of next week, and then it will probably turn cooler. And then we may well start to dip the jet stream southwards, get the jet stream digging southwards. This is how the GFS 6Z is looking, very latest. Again, high pressure to our south, low pressure to the north on Sunday. We're in those westerly winds. Early next week, it turns more unsettled in the north and west. The southeast may get a couple of drier days, though. But by sort of the middle of next week, look, this low pressure is really digging in from the northwest. The jet stream is coming south as well. So it's turning cooler and it's turning wetter for the middle part of next week. And then just bringing vigorous areas of low pressure really as we move up towards day 10. We have got some signs of some higher pressure beginning to build up to our northeast around Svalbard as well. That's really what's forcing the jet stream south southwards, I think. And as these low pressures come southwards, yes, they'll be bringing increasingly heavy bouts of rain with them. Just beyond day 10, we again go into those westerly winds, or northwesterly winds, really, rather cool side of jet stream, so further spells of rain are likely. Perhaps just signs of some higher pressure beginning to build up as we go into the early part of December. But cooler and wetter, I think, is the signal for like late November and into the beginning of December. The GM for GFS. GM though looks like this. Wednesday is going to have high pressure. Sunday, I should say, going to have high pressure. South low pressure is going to be to the north of the country. Into early next week, it turns increasingly unsettled. Low pressure again, rattling in from off the Atlantic, bringing bouts of rain. Notice heights are trying to rise up here. We're trying to raise the pressures up here, but it's these areas of low pressure that are the main drivers through the course of next week. We get to day 10, actually looking very stormy by then with the GM. This is Sunday the 29th of November and a deep dartboard low, so top of the country, and quite cool as well with that though, by the way. We are on the cool side of the jet stream, so cool, wet with gale or severe gale force winds at day 10 with the GM. And we need to keep a watchful eye on what's happening in the north and in the northeast around here and here, where we are trying to raise the heights at this point, up to that point, you know, to day 10, not able to produce anything cold from the north or east, but we need to keep a watchful eye on what's happening up there. And then the ECMWM looks like this. We know this is going to be rather different. It's going to be more anticyclonic compared to all of the other model output at day 10. We saw it on the 500 millibar high-quality flow chart. For Sunday, though, high pressures to our south, low pressure to our north. We're in those mild but also showery westerly winds. Through the middle of next week, turning increasingly unsettled with bouts of rain. But then the second half of next week, the ECM is different, starts to build up this area of high pressure. The other models are not showing that, or certainly not to the same degree anyway. So the ECM actually has us under an area of high pressure by Friday next week, and bringing in like a gentle sort of northeasterly wind. That is a dry but also colder scenario as we come to the end of November. I actually got an easterly there, although it's not particularly cold easterly, but I've got an easterly there on Saturday the 28th of November, pulling in the winds from the east. Certainly frost and fog would be likely with that area of high pressure. And then as we get up towards day 10, we find, which is Sunday 29th of November, we find the high pressure just stepping back eastwards a little bit, lower pressure developing out to southwest. Winds are beginning to tilt round southerly, but probably not particularly mild. I think the air is still coming like east of south. You know, although the isobars are like from the south, I think the origins of the air is actually somewhere around here, coming in with those southerly to southeasterly winds. So that will probably still be quite cold actually, with the ECM at day 10. It is different though, very different to what the GFS and also the GM are showing. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Temeteo.com. We'll rattle through these charts quickly. So there will be rain coming and going. Most of it's in the north and west, less so in the south and in the east. Middle of next week, again, looking quite unsettled, especially so over the central part of the country and also down in the south for a time. Then that high pressure builds in, it turns dry, but it is turning colder, of course, and that area of high pressure will be risk of some frost. Any rain sort of just flirting with the far southwest of the country. Generally it's dry, but quite cold up to day 10. Means of the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10, which gets us to the 29th of November. We have 25 members of the ECM ensembles with a Scandinavian high, or high pressure towards Scandinavia anyway. Low pressure, and quite deep low pressure as well, out in the Atlantic. So just bring in like a southerly, sort of southeasterly type wind, but probably quite cold with the origins of the air like east of south. 15 in line with the GFS and the GM. Very unsettled at day 10 with deep low pressure in off the Atlantic. And then 11, which includes the operational run, going for, again, high pressure towards Scandinavia, maybe sort of more southern Scandinavia, somewhere around northern Germany or Denmark. Lower pressures out to the west, again bringing like a southeasterly type wind. So actually, if you put like the 25 that we've got just here, because like these are just varying in the exact placement of the high pressure. But if you put the 25 together there with the 11 there, actually you have got a majority of ECM ensemble members that are going for high pressure and quite cold air to be coming in from off the continent. At the end of November. The 15 here, which are much more in line with the GFS and the GEM, but are very unsettled, you know, that is a minority option. So it is quite a confused picture, actually, this. It's quite confusing as to where things are going to be by the end of November. In 2 weeks' time, we have more variability coming in. This gets us to the 4th of December. So we have 14 members of the ECM ensemble still with that high pressure sitting to our east. Low pressure is out to the west. Probably bringing like a southerly southeast wind, but could still be cold if the origins of the air is east of south. 14 just here, again, with low pressure over top of the country. Jet stream is digging in northwest to southeast, so that's unsettled, but probably quite cool. Bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge as well with that one. 12 have low pressure to the north. They're going to be sort of flat westerly. That's a milder option and unsettled. This is the mildest option of all. 11 here with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds and jet stream are flat and westerly. Albeit there is a mid-Atlantic ridge going on. So even that could start to pull in something colder from the northwest eventually. Very inconclusive by early December, and I think late November is problematical enough, really, at the moment. Right, let's have a look at Beijing Climate Centre then. So these are 500 millibar height anomalies, break it down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period is going to take us from the 11th to the 30th of November. Coming week looks unsettled. Coming 10 days looks unsettled with winds in from the west. Low pressure is, of course, in control there. The next 10-day period takes us from the 1st through to the 10th of December. Below average heights away to the northwest, above average heights in the North Atlantic. Could we be pulling in like a northwest-southeast alignment and wind and alignment to the jet stream? Possible we are, so that could be a little bit cooler. In that 10-day period. The next 10-day period takes us from the 11th to the 20th of December. High pressure down to our southwest, low pressure up to the north. Looks like that's a milder period. Winds more west to southwesterly. Again, quite a bit of dry weather, though, with that area of high pressure in the Atlantic. And then the final 10-day period takes us through Christmas. This is going to be the 21st to the 30th of December. Mid-Atlantic ridge. Below average heights look like they're sort of to the north and northeast. Could just about be starting to pull in something cold from the north there. You do need to get that high pressure a bit further north, though. Got to get the high pressure up towards Greenland. If you do that, you will pull down a proper northerly wind. As it is, it's probably putting down quite a chilly northwesterly. And then we'll have a look at SevSV2. Then we'll wrap up video. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, by the way. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you sub to the channel. So SevSV2 looks like this. These are 500 millibar heights, bring it down into week periods. First week period takes us from the 19th to 25th of November. The coming week has high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. It looks relatively mild and pretty dry as well. I think it could be a bit more unsettled than that, though. Especially by sort of the middle of next week. Next 10-day period is interesting. This is from 26th of November to 2nd of December. Big area of high pressure over country, but it is reaching northwards. Look at this. It's reaching back towards high pressure around Svalbard. It's very, very close this to pulling in a cold east or northeasterly wind. Probably the coldest weather is being kept at bay just to our east and northeast. But, I mean, it only take ever such a slight adjustment. Just got to reach that high pressure ever so slightly further north. And we would start to open the door then to some very cold east or northeasterly winds, potentially. So that's interesting. So it is probably cold and dry for week 2. Week 3 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of December, with high pressure then slipping back into Scandinavia and Northern Europe. Low pressure is out to our west. That's probably turning milder but more unsettled, with like southwesterly winds returning. Then the last 10-day period, this looks quite interesting as well, if you like cold weather. So this is the 10th to the 16th of December. Proper Scandinavian high there, going back into northern Russia. A ridge in middle of the Atlantic as well. So, I mean, it's quite complicated bits, but just here, we've got this yellow area. We will probably have a trough, I would have thought. Jet stream's got to be somewhere. So I would think the jet stream is probably doing something a bit like that. Within the 500 millibar flow. So I would have thought here there's like to be a trough, probably. Could be turning colder with that, definitely, if there is a dip in the jet stream. And with this high pressure to our northeast, that could be starting to bring the wind round to the east, actually. So maybe getting colder and more unsettled for the middle of December. Dare I say it, the risk of some snow, perhaps, if that was to come off. Who knows? It's a long way off. It's 4 weeks away. Right, so if you enjoyed this video, please can you give us a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. And if everybody who subscribes brings a friend or a family member, then we will get to our target of 9k subscribers. That's our next target, 9k subscribers. We'll get to that. Excuse me, that much quicker. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And leave us a comment as well. Tell us what you thought about the vid. Right then, so as long as it's kind, of course. Right then, so that's it. That's it for 10 to 14 day. We're going to be back tonight with the 7th Christmas update. So the Christmas countdown continues. 7th update coming up for you tonight. So I'll see you then. Be sometime after 7 o'clock. I would have thought 7, 8, something like that. So Christmas countdown, yes, will be along tonight. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.